Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really very appreciated this opportunity to stand at here and to share my experience of the environmental education in Taiwan, and also look forward to the interaction after this lecture or after this session. And I'm last name's Chang, and I'm from the Graduate Institute of Environmental Education, National Taiwan Normal University. And this institute was established in 1993. It was 26 or 27 years ago. And I was one of the members of the institute for the past 20 more years, and also feel quite honored because this is the first institute in Taiwan and focus on the environment education, and also to help to improve the EE in Taiwan. So for the past 30 years, we have been gone through with the process of the development of EE in Taiwan. So today, my presentation will talk about the environmental education policy in Taiwan and the impacts of the policies. I just have 30 minutes, so I will focus on the two perspectives. The first one is from non-formal environmental education, and also very focused on the Taiwan Environmental Education Act. And the second one, I will introduce a little bit about the formal environmental education, especially the second one, infusing environmental education into the curriculum in the school, the formal from the grade 1 to grade 12 in the national curriculum framework. That's 2 points, 2 subjects I would like to discuss later. And this is the first one. Taiwan Environmental Education Act. The purpose, the goals for the act is to cultivate citizens' understanding of their ethical relationship with the environment, improve citizens' knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values with regard to protecting the environment. In addition, the TEEA also encourages citizens to cherish the environment and to take action to achieve sustainable development. The red color, it indicates is the purpose. It's the terms of education. It's also very famous. If you are in the field of environmental education, you must know the 5 very important goals for the environmental education is knowledge, skills, attitudes, values, and also action. And the green color here, protecting the environment, cherishing the environment, and also sustainable development is kind of the substance of environmental education. That means we do have this kind of ability or attitudes, knowledge, and for what? For protecting the environment, also cherish the environment, and now we focus on the sustainable development. And I think you know the difference between there's some relationship between the environmental protection and the sustainable development. Okay, and this is the purpose, the aims of the Environmental Education Act in Taiwan. And there are 6 chapters of TEA. The first one is general principles, and the second one is environmental education policy. And the third one is authority and responsibility of all levels of competent authorities to hold the environmental education activities, and reward and promotion of environmental education, and panel provision and supplementary. I think I will spend 10 minutes to introduce the EE Act. The purpose is this act describes very comprehensive comprehensive, the well-structured structure of the policy, how to implement the policy of EE. I'll show you later. Okay, the first one, the general introduction. This act introduced the goals of the act. Also, the authorities of EPA, the responsibility of the EPA in Taiwan, and also the definitions of some terms of the environmental education, and also identify the target audience. Who will be the target audience of the EE Act in Taiwan? And there's the first chapter. There's the content of the first chapter. Then the second chapter introduce the national EE framework, and according to the framework, also the international EE action plan, national EE action plan, also local EE action plan. That means if you want to implement EE, you have to have the framework first and follow the framework. Then we can develop some kind of action plans. And the action plans, we can have national action plans, also local government action plans. That's the whole structure of the policy. And the third chapter, we talk about authority, responsibility of the competent authorities. That means from the government agencies, which are responsible for the EE, that will be described very clearly in this chapter. So also in this chapter, we Ginger just mentioned about the fund. We have also very permanent sources of EE fund. And the second one, how to use the EE fund, the purpose of the EE fund, also described very clearly in this act. And in addition to the EE fund, we have very good design for the certification of EE. And also we have a very good design to identify the responsibility of all competent authorities, from the central government to the local governments. And how to monitor the fund, also the certification and the framework. We have a review committees. Use the committees to review also to review all the EE funds certification and also the framework, the review processes, and also need approval from the government, the central government. This is the chapter 3. And for the chapter 4, we promote EE. And in this chapter, very important, it's the law, the act requires the government or the agency to assign the EE person in each agency to assign an EE person to be in charge of the EE. That means you do get some people to do the EE, and also no less than 4 hours EE. That means this act required all the people has to take the EE course no less than 4 hours per year. And also encourage private sector corporates and the NGO and the community to implement EE. And the final one is the EE rewards. There's a national EE rewards for the EE awards for all, for the community, for the school, for corporates, for community, and also for the personnel. And that's a kind of the reward of the EE. And we have very special chapter is the penal provision. That means offense the regulation, offense the act. If you offend of the environmental protection or regulation, then you should take an EE course. And that's the penal provision. It's quite, I think it's quite different from the EE Act in other countries. And finally, there's supplementary. This is the structure of the EE, and I would make a conclusion about this later. That's quite important is we in this act is an environmental education personnel to conduct EE for his or her member staffs or students no less than 4 hours. The important thing is which comprises of 1/6 of population of Taiwan. That means in based on this act, every year 1/6 of the population of Taiwan has to take no less than 4 hours of EE. It can get a great impact of the citizens' environmental literacy if we conduct EE right and powerful. That will be a very good result. So we are very promising. I mean, this act is very powerful. Also, is very promising for the EE in Taiwan. And there's some important approaches of the Taiwan Environmental Education Act. The first one is framework and also the action plan. That means we have very strong. I mean, it's a strategy how to implement EE, and we have to review and also approve from the government. So every 5 years we have every 4 years that revised every 4 years. But that means we have can be followed. The kind of principle can be followed by all the EE educators. We have framework, also we action plan. The first one is a very important approach. And also we, because the sources of the funding is permanent, so we are sure we have money for doing EE, and that means we allocating budget for environmental education funds. It's also in Taiwan, I think it's very good. It's kind of a good future of an EE Act in Taiwan. And that's also very important. We assign and certify EE personnel to conduct EE. So in the agency of the government is required to assign to one person to be in charge of the EE, and also he's required to get certified in less 2 years or 3 years. That means you can get one person, appoint one person to conduct EE, and also require him to be certified by the process. That's also very important, approach to improve the EE in Taiwan. And also we offer in the consultation and certified EE facility place to improve in the quality of a non-formal education EE. I just talked about the personnel, EE personnel, and another very important is the facility and place, EE facility and place. We're talking about the EE. Usually we talk about the formal education in school, but for the non-formal education, we need some place or some facility to offer the EE. In Taiwan, we use this process to use the certification to encourage the private sectors, encourage the community, even the corporate, and they can, if they have a business with the tourism or community, they have place, they can offer the EE, then they can get some to do business, especially for the tourism, ecotourism. They can invite the person or even the student from school to an outdoor education in the facility place. So this is quite important. So in Taiwan, not just only the in school setting, outside the school setting, from this system, this certification, we already have 180 very certified EE facility and places. They can offer place. and offer such facility and offer their EE profession to offer the EE course. Yeah, that's also very important, I think. And we have certified environmental education institute to train the EE personnel and facilitators. I mentioned about EE personnel and the facilitators, but we also certify the institute from the university or even from the NGO. Then they can, if they got a certification, they can offer the courses. They can train the people to get the certification, or they can train the facilitator and the owner, then the project, and to get the certification. That's we have institute. That kind of I think it's kind of very good design from the institute to train the place and facility, then also offer the places facility to and the personnel to offer the EE education. Yeah, that's quite important. Is that we implementing and monitoring the no less than 4 hours EE. The EPA in Taiwan require every school or every agency, if is by the act required to have no less than 4 hours EE, then they have to file the reports every year to the EPA to make sure they have finished their job. Then that's a monitoring from the EPA. Okay. Okay, and so I think if we are talking about the structure of how to implement the EE from the national level, this good thing, you can see the structure. First one, you need to declare the goals, and also you need to identify the target audience. And in Taiwan Environmental Education Act, the sustainable development is the goals, is the final goal. We just mentioned about to take action to sustainable development. And it's also very important, in Taiwan we have a very good connection from the environmental education to ESD, from EE to ESD. So when we discussed the first, I think, the slide about the aims of the TEEA, it covered everything from the protecting environment, cherishing environment, and to sustainable development. It's a very good connection from the EE to ESD, that situation in Taiwan, okay? And the second one important, you have to identify the competent authorities and also funding and also assign the people. And this is quite important. First of all, you have to have the goals and target audience. The second one, you have to prepare that support system. That means you have to have the who is responsible for the EE, and also where's the money from, and then appoint someone to do the job. Then so you have two sources and purpose of the funding, okay? And the third one is the framework. We have the authorities, and also we have the funding. Then we have to know how to do it. Then we have the EE framework and action plans. That's important. And of course, you have to review the framework and the action plan. Also, you need approval from the central government. And the fourth one is you need the personnel, facility place, also institute, kind of certification system. Then you got this is strategy, and we do need someone in some place to do the job. And that the fifth one required how to do no less than 4 hours. That's the requirement. You have to do the job, and also no less than 4 hours. And you have to file the reports to make sure from the government can monitor what you have done for the EE. And finally, you have award and penalty. This is very good, from my perspective, it's a very good structure from the national level to see how we can design or propose a plan for the EE. So today, I think this is my first topic. I just want to show and demonstrate from the Taiwan Environmental Education Act can show a well structure of the EE policy from a national level. I think this is the first topic, okay? And no reflection. Then the second topic, I have still, okay, 10 minutes. The second one is also very important for me. I mean, we talk about the structure of the policy, but we still have to think about what's the substance of the EE. Especially for the formal education, formal environment education in school setting. In Taiwan, in year 2000, that's quite important year for EE in Taiwan because there's a curriculum renovation in Taiwan in year 2000. At that renovation, I mean, reframe the curriculum. The government agreed every learning subject has to infuse the EE into the content of their learning subject. That means the EE was recognized by the government and also by the school. It's important learning substance and it's required to infuse to every learning subject. That's year 2000. And year 2000, we have 6 important issues, and environmental education as one of the 6 important issues was required to be infused to curriculum, to national curriculum. And I think it's important just because usually EE was recognized as activity, just activity, recycling, that kind of thing. But after this year 2000, it's recognized as a curriculum. It's important learning substance. It should be infused in every learning subject. That's quite important. I think it's quite in the shift, I mean the paradigm shift. The year 2000, and in year 2000, I was one of the members to push how to infuse the EE into curriculum. And I still remember what kind of content should be included in the curriculum. EE, what kind of content? So we, at the time, we proposed the 5 goals of EE. First one, environmental awareness, sensitivity. The second one, environmental conceptual knowledge, environmental values and attitudes, environmental skills, environmental actions. No, it's just goals. Everything is related to environment. So we just focus on if you can improve, help the students to get environmental awareness, sensitivity, or can knowledge or attitudes, values, skills, action, that's good, that's fine. That's in year 2000. 15 years later, year 2015, year 2000 just from the curriculum reform is from grade 1 to grade 9. And in 2015, we have another curriculum reform, it's from grade 1 to grade 12. Okay. Now we have 4 important issues. Environmental education is one of the 4 important issues and required to be infused into learning, every learning subject. And this time, not just the goals the year 2005 goals, right? And the year 2015, now 2018, after 3 years, they finalized the curriculum framework. Then we define the EE, that's our efforts, define the EE by 5 concepts. First one, environmental ethics. The second one, sustainable development. The third one, climate change. The fourth one, disaster preparedness. And the final one, sustainable use of materials and energy resources. Yeah, I think it's quite a movement, I mean, from the goals to rigid concepts of the environmental education. And the reason why, the reason for the environmental ethics, I think is quite fundamental for environmental education. And the sustainable development is the goal, is the human future. So that's also very important for the EE. And also make EE is different from the other subject. And the third one, climate change, is quite important issue. And the fourth one, disaster preparedness and the climate change are both very important issues in nowadays. And the final one, the sustainable use of materials and energy resources is kind of a base. It's kind of a theoretical foundation for all the 4 concepts. So we try very hard to kind of build up a real substance, learning substance for environmental education. That's in the year 2015. Now it's finalized in the year 2018. And yeah, I only have 2 minutes left. I just want to discuss and present the issue just to, of course, it's just share the experience in Taiwan. From the government, from the national level, we have a Taiwan Environmental Education Act, and we can demonstrate the structure of the national level EE implementation, how to do it. And this is the curriculum in infusing EE to the national curriculum framework. It just demonstrates how we, in the field of Taiwan, how we try very hard to define the content of EE. Also, we try very hard to show the promising future of EE, and not just to protect environment. It's also good for students to learn how to live, to learn how to live well, to learn how to get sustainable development. Yeah, okay, final slide. The goals of EE for grades 1 to 12. The first, just only 3 goals. The first one, understanding of the issues and challenges of sustainability, such as climate change, global warming, social justice, generational justice. It's kind of an issue we learn for EE, but we learn the issue from the international or human being challenges to human being survival or even sustainable development. And the second one is quite important, reflecting on the purpose of the personal, national, and people's pursuing of sustainable development. From our perspective, all the environmental problems comes from our development. How you see, how you view your development, that will be the issue of the environmental problems. So we ask our students to think about what the purpose, if you're pursuing the development, personal development, or national development, even the sustainable development. It's quite important to see, to define what's your purpose for development. And the third one, of course, in the school setting, you need practicing of green consumption, advocacy, and sustainable lifestyles. That's the 3 goals of the EE in the national curriculum framework. If every learning subject, if the subject is going to infuse the EE, then they have to think about what's the goals of EE. Yeah, I think I have to stop here. And okay, I do over some the real, the substance of the curriculum framework. Okay, thank you.
네, 감사합니다. 예.